Kia ora to my whanau in Aotearoa. Obviously, you see with the title of this video what we are going to discuss here. No disrespect to my Safa followers or my followers here in the States, but I felt like this is a video that needs to be made because I have been very vocal about a lot of things when it comes to that black jersey, to this flag, to that, for any of my Kiwi whanau. This would be your Ice Hockey Federation there in New Zealand. This is how I ended up in Aotearoa, was through the sport of ice hockey. You see the hat, you see the all-black shirt. We're going to talk about the All Blacks today. And mainly we're going to talk about the steward of your team, who I have thusly begun calling Fozzy the Clown. You can go back in some of my video history. I did a short clip quite a while back where I said that Scott Robertson should be coaching this team. Fozzy is a clown because Fozzy is a clown. Ian Foster has a 66% winning percentage. So my Kiwi whanau, we need to have a talk. Now, I make no light of it. You see I have one all-black jersey, and you guys can go on my other videos and see how many Springbok jerseys I have. Obviously, I am a massive, massive Springbok supporter. I have ties to that country via my blood. But I did spend time in Aotearoa, and I fell in love with the game again while there. It wasn't like, oh, you went to South Africa and you became a big rugby fan again. No, I fell in love with the game being in New Zealand. And I really started following the All Blacks heavily after the 2015 World Cup. The amount of stars you had on that team, I will still bring up the greats, and a lot of them are All Blacks. Guys like Dan Carter, guys like Richie McCaw, Julian Savea. Go even further back, Jonah Lomu, Sir John Kerwin, Kevin Malone. These guys that are just Sir Michael Jones, one of the greats. Sir Buck Shelford. Buck Shelford, the best number 8. Any man that can lose a testicle out of his scrotum, sew it back up, and keep going. I mean, come on. I know it's a little graphic to describe it, but we all know the story. Aotearoa, that black jersey has a legacy unseen. Now, being a Springbok fan, obviously the rivalry is massive. But once again, I will say this, and I say it with no shame. I fell in love with the game of rugby again, being in New Zealand. I'm an ice hockey guy. That's my background. I tell everybody that I played ice hockey. I played hockey growing up. I followed that sport, die hard, traveled for it, went around the world for it. And being in New Zealand made me fall in love with rugby. It made me realize what I was missing out on. Now, I had watched the sport quite a bit before that, but being there was when the roots of this channel were planted, was being there and being immersed in a country that lives and breathes for rugby. And obviously that continued in my travels. But we need to talk, guys, because this isn't 2007. This isn't 2006 to 2009 when the Springboks were dominating. This is worse than that. Now, to be a follow-up to people like Graham Henry and Coach Henson is almost an impossible task. But this is bad. You haven't had this low of a winning percentage since Eric Watson in 79 and 80, and I was not even born at this time yet. I remember the Mitchell time, the Mitchell area, John Mitchell. That was pretty bad. He ended up coaching the USA Eagles. Yeah, that was pretty bad. This is really bad, guys, and we need to talk because I think it's about to get worse. This is not rock bottom for the black jersey, not by a lion's share. You're about to have to go to South Africa, a team that could probably rotate out two sides. Now you could say, oh, that second side lost to a horrible Welsh side. They kind of held their own a bit too. Brodie Retallick is out. He's done. He's never been the same. Former World Player of the Year. Absolutely great in his prime. He's done. Patrick Tuipulotu, absolutely amazing in Super Rugby, has never really panned out in the black jersey. Scott Barrett, I still don't get why he even gets a chance. He's a red card guy. And I don't even think he's really that great in Super Rugby. Now, Jordy and Bowden are great. I think Jordy Barrett is much better than Bowden. Bowden is a back-to-back World Rugby Player of the Year. You cannot go wrong with him. But why are you not starting Richie Mo'unga, who's much better right now? I say it's going to get worse because the Springboks haven't gotten worse. They've gotten better since last year. And the Wallabies haven't gotten worse. They've gotten better since last year. And you're about to have to go to South Africa. And then after that, you're going to have to do another Northern tour. I remember following the All Blacks on that 17-18 game winning streak they were on. Who ended it? Ireland and Chicago. That was Steve Hansen era still. Fozzy is 1-3 against the Irish. I can count on one hand how many times I saw Hansen lose. British and Irish Lions tour, Sonny Bill Williams red card. The tie, the final third game, 15-all tie, kind of a wash, bullshit, heck, whatever you want to call it. Losing to Australia once. Losing to Ireland. And that's really about it. I know he probably lost a couple more than that, but that's really all I can remember. Fozzy has lost to Argentina, to the Springboks, to Ireland, to France, to Ireland, to Ireland. You're in trouble, folks. And I don't know if a changing of the coach is really going to make that big of a difference now, because you've been exposed for what it is. Now, do I think that the All Blacks are going to end up ranked 10th? No, you're not going to fall that hard. But I can never remember the All Blacks not being in the top 3. This is the first time I've ever seen that, and the times that I've been paying attention to this game where they have not been ranked in the top 3. They are ranked 4th currently in the world, behind the Springboks. And I guess the biggest call is Scott Robertson, Scott Robertson, Scott Robertson. I'm willing to bet that the Crusaders could have beaten Ireland. Probably wrong. I'm probably wrong, and you can say you're wrong. But that's how good he is down there with those Satyrs. Not a huge Crusaders fan. Obviously picked them in the final just because of history. He's figured out a way to win every time for some weird reason. I don't know what it is. I was under the personal belief that the next head coach was going to be Warren Gatlin, and you can be like, why do you think that? Well, where was Steve Henson before he was there? He was at Wales. Where was Warren Gatlin? He was at Wales. I'm wondering, I might be wrong, if maybe because he wanted to do the last British and Irish Lions tour that they didn't offer him the job. I get why they haven't offered Razor Robertson the job. He's unproven. He's coached a bit of U20s, and he's coached the Sabres. But I think either of those guys would be better than Fozzy. Just to be honest. Is Wayne Smith available? Why wasn't he offered the job? It was a quote I heard when Hansen had lost to the British and Irish Lions, which is, "You are a steward of our game." Fozzy the Clown is your steward, guys. And he's doing a pretty shit job. I'm going to attach a link to a little thing. A guy by the name of the Black Jersey is his blog. I will attach what his little write-up on it was, and everything's 100% true. This is not a team that's just missing a piece or two. This is a team that has no identity at this point. There's none. And you've got great guys. Don't get me wrong. Aaron Smith, Richie Mwanga, the Barrett brothers, Jordy and Bowden. Will Jordan, world class. Sevu Reese, great. You've got some solid talent on there. Artie Savea, I've seen him rise from just kind of a guy on the outside of it all as a run-on to being a very, very good force at loose forward. Very good. Akira Iwani finally getting a crack at it, doing very well at number 8. Very big, very brutal. But it's not really equaling anything, is it, guys? And I think what's good for New Zealand rugby is good for everyone. I am a fan of Southern Hemisphere rugby. Even as much crap I give to the Wallabies, I will hand them. They are a team on the rise. Despite losing this series to England, I think they're going in the right. I think Dave Rennie is riding the ship there. And I made a bold prediction on a couple of videos ago, and I'm going to stick to that prediction. This is the year that the Wallabies take the Bledisloe home. You have not lost very many home series on home soil. Ireland most recently, the Wallabies in the 80s when David Kirk, Sir John Kerwin, that whole team that won the 87 World Cup, last one up until this most recent. That's historical, guys. That's historical. Ian Foster has taken, I'll use American vehicle terms, a Corvette and turned it into an old Explorer. You don't have the depth anymore to relax because guys are getting hurt and guys are aging out and no one's replacing them. What was Angus Tavel even doing dressed? I love the guy a lot, one of my favorite players in the world. He's kind of past his prime, guys. Ofa Tuongafasi, he's kind of getting over his hill. Cody Taylor's still great. Don't get me wrong, still great. Cody Taylor's some of your front row guys, but I mean, even like Dan Coles, that guy's like 34. Like, you need to be moving in a younger direction. And I was there for the Rico Iwani bust out. I was there for that era when he made his debut. He was playing for Auckland. He was playing for the Blues. He makes his debut. Was a Māori All Black, and then got to make his debut with the All Blacks. And he was the hottest thing that year. I think he made Breakthrough Player of the Year that year. And then we discovered he couldn't play defense worth a damn. Now he's playing center because Anton Leonard-Brown, who I love the guy, great. Is he world class? I mean, he obviously plays for the All Blacks, but would you put him in the top tier of centers in the world? No, you wouldn't. I think the team got relaxed because they had so many top tier stars at every position and they didn't think about the future. And the future is here and you're looking really bad right now. I don't want the All Blacks to dominate world rugby because I want the Springboks to do it. But I don't want the All Blacks to be horrible either. I want them to maintain a winning tradition that jersey means. The reason I fell in love with the game again was because I saw what that jersey meant to the people of that country. The fans in New Zealand are some of the greatest fans I've ever seen in my life. And my Kiwi followers, you are some of the greatest rugby fans I've ever met in my life. 2 Cents Rugby is one of the greatest rugby channels. If you're not subscribed to him here on YouTube, you need to be. Mark loves this game to his core. Kiwis love that jersey to their core. And it's not looking good right now for you guys. So, with that going forward, we're a year out from the World Cup. What can you do? Would firing Fozzy the Clown right now really make a difference? I don't think you can get any worse. You are going to, though. This is going to be a year of heartbreak for the All Blacks. And it's going to be sad because I'm going to be cheering on the side the whole time. Because my Springboks are going to be a part of that, I think. And NZRU is going to have some serious questions to answer as to why they thought that man was going to be a good option going forward. Because I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't know what the hell they're thinking, because he is not a good coach whatsoever, and he never has been a good coach whatsoever. So you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Try to keep the hate to a minimum, my Springbok fans. I know you're going to think, God, dude, like, is this guy selling